Good morning, everyone. It is I, King Mike X, and I'm here with another Jakarta Last Update video. We got a lot to talk about, so this is going to be an update, as well as a banner review, and a event preview. So, yeah. First up, well, okay. There's the Jakarta Life. There's also, of course, the new event, facility event, Agent of Goddess. Well, okay, it's not going to be an event preview. I already talked about the Agent of Goddess before. It's now live. But here's the big thing. Okay, it's going to be a banner review and an update thing. So, first off, they finally got the update. Talk about the new gifts. Which they're fixing Kawalika Shining Stars skill applied to the Adventures Tiki's Divine Dragon skill Breath of Fog. So they're going to fix that issue, and they will send the light tones required to unlock the Shining Star shared skill. To players who unlock the Shining Star shared skill up until update. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have Galalica. Or him unlocked, so I won't be getting that, but yeah, anyone who does that, you get that. Now, here's the new stuff that they're talking about. New worm prints added. So, added to the treasure trade for the worm print lineups. So, there's a day in our life, which gives energy double buff 1, which increases energy level by 1 stage each time a defensive buff is received. Force strike plus 50%, and sanctity plus 150%. Then there's a pretty good thing, and I could see why they're doing this. There's going to be some really good units for that. Then there's Treasury of Knowledge, Sleeping Punisher, which I'm wondering does that mean? I don't know any. I don't know which adventurers have have the sleeping books, and I gotta see. Oh, and Blind Res plus 50%, and Sanctity plus 100. Um, which actually I could check right now which adventures have sleep. So let me check sleep. Okay, let's see. Adventures who can do it. Okay. Oh, Sazanka. Oh, Sazanka, Carmen, and Vice. I was running away in the new one. Haster's one. Awesome for sleep. Forgot about that. So that can actually work well with the Vice and climbing. But I don't really. You can't too much. Oh, Sazanka could work really well with. Anyway, moving on. Tartarus Wrath. It is Tartarus Wrath has arrived. It's bug current even, but already it's bugged and we can't play it. Here's the reason why. Alright, we are confronting an issue in Tartarus Wrath where the controlled adventurer becomes invincible until the end of the battle under certain circumstances. I wish I got to play it during that time. I went to sleep too early. So because until it's identified and corrected, they will make the question available. I wish that was the case, because if I did, I would have so loved that. To choose the fight. Now, Gala. So, as everyone expected, Gala 4. Varus' pack would commence landing itself and has taken the title of Fulminator. The Thor possesses power great enough to reduce battlefield stats, and his beliefs as a warrior also influence the man with whom he has sworn a pact. Here's what he has. Skills. Thor's Hammer. Deals light damage to the target and nearby enemies and inflicts paralysis. Continually tapping the screen while charging the attack will increase damage, with damage reaching its maximum potential at stage 3. The attack will be unleashed after a set timer upon reaching stage 3. That is... So, I'm going to say this attack is going to do a lot of damage, but here's his abilities that I never guessed. And I should have. So, like Chariot Rider. 5. If the user is attuned to light, increases strength by 50%. Increases the user's energy level by 1 stage for every 5 seconds that pass, and provides a further increase to the user's strength based on the user's energy level, up to a maximum of 45% when the user is energized. So, and if the user's and Thunderbringer 2, which is when the user's shapeshift is undone, energizes the entire team. Why did I think of energizing? This actually helps out a lot of people. This actually is a very good dragon, though. It's got a max of 95%, but every time you energize, every time you use, it takes at most, let's see, 9 times 5, that's, oh wait, no, my bad. Yeah, it's 25 seconds. Every 25 seconds, you get up to 95%, and you get up to 95% whenever you undo a shapeshift. So yeah, it's pretty damn busted. Now we also got another dragon doing this thing, Ramio, a shadow dragon. And he's important to the story, and he's one of the dragons known as the Five Archangels. Though comic and analytical, he has such a sharp tongue. At first, he had no emotions towards people, but he now feels a fatherly attachment to the apostle we formed a sigil with. Angelic Declaration. Do shadow damage to enemies directly ahead, inflicts poison, and reduces their defense by 20% for 15 seconds. The defense reduction effect will not stack. Also, immediately renders the user's second skill for use and gradually fills the skill gauge of the user's first and second skills for 90 seconds. Abilities that increase skill gauge fill rate would not affect this automatic increase. That is very, very useful. And abilities. Shadow Strength and Shapeshift Prep 5. Or Shapeshift Prep V. And if the user is attuned to Shadow, increases strength by 60% and fills 60% of the dragon gaze at the start of the quest. That is a very useful dragon. Oh my god. They're getting more useful with these dragons. Now Nevin is the adventurer. He is a support unit, and he is an interesting one after reading about him. Victoria Strategy is a skill 1. Creates a buff zone that lasts for 10 seconds and increases the strength of Shadowtune Adventures inside it by 25%. During sigil release, this skill also reduces light damage taken by the entire team by 20% for 10 seconds. The damage reduction effect will not. This damage reduction effect will not stack. So yeah, you might have noticed that it said sigil release. This is going to be a thing. Magnus Apocalypse is a shared skill. Deal standard damage to the target and nearby enemies and decreases the remaining time of a locked sigil by 60 seconds if the attack connects. During sigil release, this skill instead deals shadow damage to the target and nearby enemies and deals bonus damage to enemies in buff zones created by both the user and other adventurers. Bonus damage will be greater against enemies in buff zones created by the user. Yeah, so he is a really good support unit, but he's also different. So he's actually really good. It looks like he's going to be really good for what's the adventurer's name? He might be good for Master Cayenne, because Master Cayenne does have a set pattern, and of course there's like the whole buff zone thing, but you're gonna be most of the damage dealers are gonna be right next to Master Cayenne through most of the fight, besides when he does the dashes with the orbs. So yeah, he's gonna be very useful. Alright, and then there's crit rate plus 10%, shadow above 10 hits equals light res plus 10%, and abilities. Ramio's Covenant inflicts a lock sigil debuff on the user at the start of quest for 300 seconds. That seems like a long time, but listen to this. Well, first of all, that skill 2 reduces it by 60 seconds, but listen to the rest of this. Grants the user a unique force strike that cannot deal damage, but gradually heals the user while charging. The locked sigil debuff cannot be removed by shapeshift or incapacitation, but shapeshifting will reduce its remaining time by 240 seconds. So if you shapeshift and then use skill 2, because it looks like this dragon is going to be, Ramiro is going to be really good for this case. Yeah, he's going to be really good in this case paired with Nevin. Because you're going to have him immediately ready to use. Then you're going to use use Magnus Apocalypse, and voila, you get rid of the locked sigil. When the locked sigil effect wears off, the user will be granted the sigil release effect instead, powering up the victorious strategy and Magnus Apocalypse skills, and allowing the user to summon Revelation Surge for 12 seconds at the expense of 10% of the user's HP by top of the screen at the end of a standard attack combo. These Revelation Surge will attack automatically, but the attacks would not be treated as standard attacks. Crit damage plus 20% and blindness res plus 100%. So yeah, he's gonna have good with crit rate. It looks like you want to give him crit rate for a buff as well. But yeah, he is a choice. He is interesting. This skill thing, the sword, is gonna be interesting. So it looks like you're gonna have to constantly heal him. It looks like. But I think the force strike could do that. Anyway, but yeah, he's a very interesting character. Anyway, moving on, we have Pinon. An apostle of the Northern Ode Church, the youngest of the group, she feels patience over her abilities, which are inferior to the other members. Though usually a stickler for propriety, she displays her boisterous side in battle. Oh, and him, one of the apostles of the Northern Church, though he normally adopts a lackadaisical demeanor, he possesses keen insight and excels in battlefield strategy. He has formed a sigil with the angel Ramio and looks to him like a father. Yeah. So here is Pinon. She's an attack unit. Her skill 1 is to share, and his skill 2 is to shareable skill at shareable 6. So there's that, but Pinon's skill 1 is shareable 5. Deals 1 of its enemies in the line and inflicts frostbite. Soul Benediction grants the user Gabriel's Blessing effect for 20 seconds. During Gabriel's Blessing, the user's strength is increased by 20%, their defense is increased by 20%, and damage less than 50% of the user's maximum HP is nullified. Sounds good, right? Here's the issue. These effects do not stack and are lost upon being attacked. So, yeah. Once you get hit, you basically lose all those buffs. So you have to avoid enemies for 20 seconds, but you're a bow unit. That should be fine. The only issue is that's not going to be too useful in Ayaha no Toha, who had that group-wide area attack. Yeah, or AoE attack that you can't dodge, so yeah, there's that. Cover ability, skill haste, and chain cover ability, HP 80 equals frame rate 6%. Gabriel's covenant too, so yeah. He has Rhymer's covenant. So yeah, so Nevin had Ramio's covenant. Pinon has Gabriel's covenant, which inflicts the lock sigil debuff on the user at the start of the quest for 300 seconds. Same thing like Nevin's Ravio. The difference is, grants the user a unique force strike with 2 increasingly powerful charge levels. Movement is possible while charging, but the user will move more slowly. Once their force strike is fully charged, it will deal extra damage to frostbitten foes and reduce the locked sigil's remaining time by 13 seconds if it connects. The locked sigil debuff cannot be removed by shapeshifting or incapacitation. When the locked sigil effect wears off, the user will be granted the sigil release effect instead. allowing the user to perform special attacks that restore 5% of the damage inflicted. Yeah, allowing the user to perform special attacks that restore 5% of the damage inflicted as HP to the user and have a 40% chance to increase the user's energy level by 1 stage. This special attack is activated by tapping the screen at the end of a standard attack combo. This recovery caps at 7% of the maximum HP. By tapping the screen again during one of these attacks, the user can immediately perform another. He is an interesting case. Or she is. Okay, she also has burn res and HP 70% equals attack rate 2. So when her HP is above 70%, her attack rate goes up by 20%. This is an interesting. She is. Are these units? So all these units look really good. And if I was to say to summon for this banner. It is amazing. The Galathor looks to be an insanely powerful dragon, just like all the other Gala dragons. But Ramio is also a great dragon to have, who who really helps out, who can really help out, especially pairs well with Nevin with his shapeshift 50. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think. I don't know if he's gonna be replacing anyone. Ramio isn't gonna be really replacing anyone. If I had to say, he's good as a substitute, but that begs to differ. It could work with some of the other adventures, like or it can work with some of the other adventures. We just have to find out which ones. Yeah, and then of course there's Nevin. Whereas he works well with Nevin, but I think Nevin is gonna have Cat Shift, but this is a good backliner. But it's hard to say. And he has a way to heal himself, so there's that. Then there's Pinon. Pinon is also a great unit as well. Good water adventure, but she won't be as useful for Ayaha to Toha and the Expert, specifically because of how her second skill works. I mean, okay, it could still work. It's just that you have to make sure you stun Ayaha no Toha a lot more. She needs to get stunned a lot more. But other than that, guys, this looks to be a good unit. So that's going to be it for this video. If you liked this video, please click the like button and also leave a comment down below. I should share this video around. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you get updates when all my videos go live. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye.